everyone who joined. It's been really, really great to see such interest in your careers, and thank you for joining. And you can thank yourselves. Today's going to be a really, really great session on your personal brand. So we're going to talk all about it, what it is, how to do it right, and what are some do's and don'ts and tools that can help you build a really strong, powerful personal brand. So let's dive into it. First of all, my name is Nora, and I'm a business analyst at Intern Match currently, and I will be taking you through this personal branding journey today. And it's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to share all the useful information with you. So let's dive into it. First of all, of course, we'd like to start with the acknowledgement of country. So I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land of which I'm presenting from today, and may my respects be with their elders, past, present, and emerging. And I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Now, this webinar is part of the Study Melbourne's Career Catalyst program. If you don't really know yet what it is, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's a really great program that Study Melbourne built for international students and really just students who are trying to get into their dream jobs, careers, and develop some useful skills to progress in their careers further. So this program offers a lot of services all around this ecosphere of career and job and interviews and skills and resume stuff all around. We have a couple of services going on right now as well that you can sign up for. So we have the career development services where you can sit down with a career development specialist, and they will take you through and look at your resume all together. You can also look at your LinkedIn with them and also build a little bit of a career pathway for yourself if you're not sure which steps to take to reach the goals that you've set out for yourself. We also have a lot of events going on, webinars like this online, but also in person, where there are some really good networking opportunities. Sometimes we invite some really great founders and startup owners and company owners that have talks at those events as well, and you can chat to them afterwards, which is absolutely incredible and a really, really great opportunity. So if you don't know about this program yet, I highly recommend checking it out. And in the beginning, I sent a link in the chat. You can sign up for our next event about LinkedIn. So now, a little bit more about scholarships. Here is some information. Feel free to take a screenshot if you want to. I also sent the link in the chat to sign up for a scholarship, and there is a QR code on the screen right now. You can scan it with your phone. It will take you right to the form. So we are currently accepting expressions of interest for this opportunity. And to be eligible, all you need to do is just attend one of those webinars, which you are doing right now. So you are already eligible. So this program awards 15 talented international students with an enrollment into the Intern Match Work Readiness Program. And that program basically gives you an opportunity to go through a short course and then get an internship in the industry that you would like to gain experience in. So it can be really valuable to get that first step in the door in the Australian industry. So please check it out. Do yourself a favor. So now, jumping back into the personal brand, what will we be covering today? First of all, we will gain an understanding of what is a personal brand and what's the difference of a personal brand compared to a career. Then we will understand some tools as well of how to understand who you are and what your personal brand even is. Then we will learn about how to showcase those traits and these things about your personal brand. And then we will dive into a couple more personal development tools. And then we'll discuss how to actually take your brand to market. Okay, so let's dive into it right away. Your personal brand is your calling card. So all of your skills, the things that you love doing, your hobbies, your personality traits, maybe some things that friends point out about you, all of those unique attributes are you. And that is your personal brand. Who you are basically in a professional capacity, but not only professional, also just in your life, is your personal brand. And that personal brand can help you with your career as well. Basically, personal brand is the way how you package yourself. So how you behave yourself online, offline, at work, with friends, anywhere. The way it's just your unique sort of being. So why does that matter? Because it will help you be memorable, stand out, make a good impression. When you understand who you are and what your personal brand is, you are confident, and it helps you build that confidence and put that confidence not only in yourself, in your work, in your career, but also in the job that you're doing potentially, or even just in the connections that you're making, and not only in a networking capacity, but also with your friends. It allows you to have more quality in your life, and it helps you as well with understanding your goals and where you want to be in life. It also helps you to build credibility with other people. So other people, when you have confidence in yourself, of course, other people will trust you more and will be more confident in your abilities as well. All of that confidence and that ability to build connections opens you up, of course, to new opportunities, opens up new doors in front of you, and supports your business development as well. So there are a lot more things. This is just really the top 5% of what it can help you with. But your personal brand is really something that follows through with you throughout your life, everywhere, online and offline. So, what are the steps to develop your personal brand? First of all, we need to define and refine your personal brand. So we need to understand really who you are and what do you want to show people online and offline. Step 2 would be to develop your brand assets. So develop the things that you will be sharing with the world and making sure that they really align with that first step. So with your brand. Now, the third step is putting your brand to work. So now that you've developed, you understand who you are, you understand what you want to say and how you want to say it, you're putting these things into work. Now, a hard question: how to define who you are. And some people really take, not only months, years, and potentially their whole lives to really understand who they truly are. And it's a really, really tough question. So here today, I'm here to show you and help you a couple of different things that you can do to get closer to the answer to that question. So when defining your personal brand, you really need to look at a couple of pillars. So the foundations of where you want to start coming from. First of all, you want to be true to yourself and to others. So authenticity will be absolutely crucial. Be honest and talk about yourself. Don't try and show a person who you are not, because that just doesn't really help anyone. People want to see who you truly are, and that will help you as well connect with people who are similar to you and who share similar values. If you're going to be telling people that you're someone who you're not, it will just give people the wrong idea, and wrong people will start connecting with you, and you won't have that sense of satisfaction and fulfillment from your connections in your life. So be true to who you are and start with being authentic. Now, the second one is being consistent. So if you show up once or do something once, it doesn't still really feel true. And people will maybe grab onto that one thing and forget it right away. So what you need to do is stay consistent in all mediums, so offline, online. That will help you build that authenticity as well. Sometimes, we encounter cases where people write in a very particular manner. For example, online, they write blog posts, they talk about things and use specific words or use specific phrases. And then you meet them offline and they talk that they're a completely different person, and they use different words, and they never speak in the same way as they do, or never discuss the same topics as they usually do online. And that just gives you a weird sense and makes you question, is this person really true? Are they real, or is someone else writing stuff for them on the internet and this is the real them? Or are they just too shy and not confident to show themselves offline, and they can only do it online? So make sure to be consistent everywhere, and as much as possible to as well build the authenticity, but also kind of build that understanding in other people of who you really and truly are. And now the third one, and a really, really important one, is add value. So we see a lot of people who, start posting online and it's a lot about them, or they start talking and networking and all they really discuss and talk about is themselves. But as in life, you need to be kind, and you need to think of things that you would usually maybe talk about with your friends and what value you could bring or you bring to your friends, and do the same with all the other people in your lives. They're no different. So there should be a good balance between what you can bring as a person, what you can tell people, and what you can bring people, but also of what you can take from people and how you can help those people with the expertise you have. Because in the end, it's going to be all about bringing that value, not only in your personal life, but into your career and your personal traits, bringing those into your career as well. So make sure to really shine a light on that value that you can bring to others, the things that you already know and that you can do really, really well to help others. Now, as I mentioned before, your personal brand is really something that follows you everywhere. In person at work, online at work, in person outside of work, and online outside of work. The person who you are with your friend might be a little bit of a different person from who you are at work, but the core values, your core true self, should always stay the same. And that is, again, to the point of being consistent and authentic. How do we understand who we are, though? What questions do we ask ourselves to really dive deep into the people who we are and into the people that we want to be? So first of all, sometimes it's easier to think of ourselves as kind of detach ourselves and think about, oh, what would another person say about me? You can even ask your friends, ask them, oh, how would you describe me in 3 or 5 words? Or ask your family, ask your colleagues, see what all these different people say about you, and you will and highlight those things, maybe circle or highlight those things that are similar and consistent along all those different areas of your life. So how would people describe you? So how are people perceiving you? What do they think you are? What do they think you're good at or bad at? And yeah, get all of those answers in a piece of paper and highlight those things that are consistent throughout all these different areas of your life. Now, how do I want to be perceived? So now we have a bit of a summary of how we are perceived, but you might find some things on that list of paper that you don't really like potentially. So maybe you can circle those for your other part of the paper and think about the things that you maybe want to change. Or again, double down and circle the ones that you are already happy with that you want to double down on. So things that you already love about yourself and others love about you. This, and here a little bit of a clue, these will be the things, the most important things about your value. So these things that you love about yourselves and others think that you're good at, these will be your key value points. So this is a very, very good exercise to start with. Now, another part is, what am I passionate about? So what do you like doing? Maybe if you're fulfilled by your career, what is that makes you spark at your job? What are the tasks, or what brings you joy? What brings a smile to your face every day? And maybe not only at work. What do you do when you come home? What do you really love doing with your friends, with your family? What is something that that you will never want to give up doing in your life? Those things that you're passionate about. Now, what do you enjoy doing? Same question, but maybe a little bit less intense. What are my values and what do I want to achieve? So values is a very interesting one. It is really kind of a foundation to understanding who you are, and questioning your values will really help you get to the bottom of your identity. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, I would really recommend looking into that a bit more. Yeah, and what do I want to achieve is also a little bit like, how do I want to be perceived? But potentially, people start thinking a little bit more about careers here right away. So which goals in their jobs they want to achieve. But maybe there are also some things that you want to achieve in your personal life. And that's also completely fine. And that speaks to your values as well. And that balance between your career things and your life things will give you an understanding of how much, how passionate you are about those different things in your life. So if you, for example, run, or I don't know, play tennis or whatever it is, maybe you have some goals around what you want to do this year in those types of activities, or maybe you want to travel somewhere, or maybe you want to try a bunch of different food or cuisines, or maybe you want to start cooking. All of those things are also achievements, so don't undervalue them, underestimate them, and make sure to write those down and reflect with yourself on those ones as well. Now, if you're still not quite sure how to tackle yourself and how to really get to the bottom of, for example, your values, right? Or the key traits to your personality, I have a great tool for you, and you can scan a QR code on the slide right now. This is a personality test, and there are a lot of them out there. So if you just Google personality test, you'll get thousands and thousands and thousands of them, different ones that will tell you particularly different things. I really personally like this one, and the way how it sections and tells you about you. It doesn't only give you a very condensed, potentially summary of your personality, it gives you a really good summary for each of the main areas in your life. So personal, relationships, careers, friends, aspirations, goals, things like that. Just by doing this 15-minute, it's free as well, test, it will tell you your key traits. And what this will help you with is with understanding what drives you, what inspires you, what are those traits that are potentially really good and unique about you, and how to interact with other people to highlight those traits about yourself. It will also help you build some really meaningful relationships. And I actually, on a personal note, really love doing this with friends. And at some point, when I just discovered this test, I actually made all my friends in my friend group do this test. And we were looking at the answers of each other. And it was really, really a lot of fun, but also a great way to get to learn about your friends and your family and whoever else you want to take this test with. Some companies even implement this test at work. So employees do this test when they join. So managers know how to best manage a person by understanding that person better using this test. So if any team leaders are here or anyone has a team to manage, feel free to use it for your team as well. This could really help you understand what your team's all about. Now, this test basically, as you could probably understand from the title, locates you in one of the 16 personalities. All of those 16 personalities are also split up in 4 different bigger sections: explorers, analysts, diplomats, and sentinels. So you will understand really well which section you're part of. It will also give you some tips about what you might want to do for your career or what you could be really good at. And it will also tell you, for example, things like, oh, are you more introverted? Are you more extroverted? What are those patterns in your life? It can help you discover some things that you might have not realized yet about yourself or acknowledged. And like I said before, it will teach you as well how to work best with others. Now, one more test I wanted to share. If you don't really like the first one, or you just want to do whatever you can to get to the bottom of yourself, then this is also a great one, which is the VIA Character Strengths Assessment. So this is also free, also takes around 15 minutes to do, and it provides you with just a bunch of information, again, to help you understand your best qualities. This one, feel free to scan the QR code now, by the way. This one is a little bit more really concentrated on your values and particularly skills. So it ranks you in 24 qualities. And then it tells you which of those qualities you are already really good at and which qualities you're maybe not as good at, and maybe some qualities that you might want to look into to improve. So here are some of them, like bravery, perspective, kindness, humor, creativity, spirituality, teamwork, leadership, and so on. Really a lot of things. And a combination of those will help you understand of how to portray yourself to other people. Now, let's say we figured out our values, right? And by taking those tests, we kind of understood who we are a little bit, maybe what we're good at, maybe we understand how we interact with other people, understand what jobs might potentially suit us. But now we want to add a couple more individual things into this whole assessment. So these tests are usually really great to get started, but as great as they still are quite generalistic. So obviously they only split people into 16 different categories, but each person is unique. So take those tests with a grain of salt and use it as a foundation. And then you can start adding things on top of that to really make it authentic and make your brand you. So now, what can we add on top of that baseline that we just set with your values and personality traits is what you like to do. So your, let's say, 5 hobbies. This is a methodology that a lot of people use to get started with, to understand potentially those things that they can talk about online. So the things that they are good at or want to be good at. And you can also take people on a journey with you and learning a particular skill, for example. So if you don't really have a hobby right now, or you don't have 5 hobbies, that's fine. Just choose a couple of things that you were maybe always interested in exploring, and yeah, and try and exploring them together with other people, and learning new things, and it can become one of your new 5 hobbies. So what is a hobby? A hobby is an activity that you usually do some sort of regularly, in your free time, and that gives you pleasure, right? That's the most important point. So something that you enjoy doing in your free time on a regular basis. Let's bring a couple of examples here. For example, running or playing tennis, or I don't know, pottery is very popular now, or painting, or I don't know, horse riding. A lot of other things, even gardening, or really anything. Maybe for some people it's even things like cleaning, and this really gives them, a lot of pleasure and satisfaction. So whatever an activity is that you do regularly and that brings you pleasure and enjoyment or benefit could be your hobby. And here it's important that it's not really about some greater achievement. It is that pleasure that it gives you that is important in hobbies. So let's find out what those 5 hobbies for you could be. So if you already have a couple of hobbies, feel free to write them down now into these 5 different categories. If you don't, feel free to just sit down with me right now and think about a couple of things maybe that other people do, maybe your friends do, maybe your family does, maybe your colleagues or schoolmates do, that fit into those 5 categories. And then you can look at them and assess them and see maybe the ones that you would be interested in trying out. So 5 different categories. 1 to make you income, 1 to keep you moving, 1 to keep you creative, 1 to build knowledge, and 1 to evolve your mindset. So, for example, 1 to make you income, your job. For example, I'm a business analyst. Now, 1 to keep you moving. For example, I enjoy going hiking. 1 to keep you creative. I love listening to music and I find really deep pleasure in it. 1 to build knowledge. For example, some podcasts that you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever it is. And I love listening about technology. So that's something, maybe you have some podcasts that you love listening to as well. So you can add that one in there. And 1 to involve your mindset. So I love, for example, using this app Headspace, and I love meditation. It really helps me keep myself grounded. So that is something that helps me evolve my mindset. So take your time, write a couple of things down for yourself, or take a screenshot of the slide, and feel free to do it after my presentation today. So like I said, don't get intimidated if you don't have 5 hobbies yet. Just write down a couple of things that you might be interested in. Now, the key to really nailing who you are and understanding all of these different things about yourself and your hobbies and what you love doing and your values and your personal interests and passions is that all of those things are like little building blocks or puzzles or Lego blocks that help people understand, first of all, and help you understand and build this thing that is your personal brand, which is basically your personality. And those building blocks help you take a more structured approach in forming your narrative. So telling a clear and concise story about who you are. So when people ask you, hey, who are you? What do you do? You know exactly what they're asking you about and what to respond to that, because you know who you are. You know your values, you know what you're good at, you know your hobbies, you know what you love doing, and you're confident about sharing those things and sharing your path and building your skills along these different things that you discovered about yourself. So these things will not only help you in your LinkedIn, your resume, any conversations you have, but it also helps you just to understand yourself and where you want to be. So this analysis, even if you're maybe not ready yet to build a full-on personal brand yet, it will still help you incredibly in progressing further and feeling more fulfilled in your life and feeling more fulfilled with who you are and your career and your connections and friends and everything. So now that we understand to some degree who you guys are and we understand what we love doing and what we can potentially tell people about us, and even just starting with our friends, so sharing some interests with them, or if you're confident enough, going online and writing about a couple of those things that you enjoy. Now that we know those things that we want to share about ourselves, and that we know we want to be perceived as, we want to develop our brand assets. So your most valuable asset will be your personal pitch. And this comes up everywhere. Any interview you go to, your first question is, so tell us about yourself. Any social media platform you log onto, one of the first questions is an about me section, or tell us about yourself section. In your resume, you have your career summary or career objectives session, or your little description of your profile summary. Again, this is an answer to the question, tell me about yourself. So developing this will help you incredibly in portraying all of those values out everywhere and all in all the mediums. So this particular part as well leaves a lasting first impression. This is the first thing that people get to know about you, and this is what their foundations of knowledge will be about you, whether it's in an interview or even in a friend's relationship. It can't be too long. Around 45 seconds is best, and it has to be quite concise, but also talk about all of those things that you discovered in the previous section of today's exercise. So it has to be authentic, it has to be consistent, as we said, and it has to highlight your values, right? So how to build your pitch. There are a couple of points that you should be focusing on. The overall structure, I would recommend always sort of keeping it really simple, talking a little bit about your past first, then about your present, then about your future. That helps it be perceived a little bit more as a story, which is a bit more compelling. And the points that you can mention in those past, present, or future sections are the ones that I'm showing right now on the screen. So first of all, you want to give a little bit of a background history. So maybe you studied somewhere, or maybe you did some courses, or maybe you always wanted to be someone, or worked in particular companies, or had particular jobs in your past that built who you are. So that is really the first statement. So it has to capture attention. So something potentially interesting about you. Try and find a couple of unique things potentially about yourself that you did. or things that are suitable to the circumstances that you're in. For example, if you're in an interview, maybe don't start with some personal information, maybe start with something relevant, maybe a degree that suits the job that you're applying to so well. Now, you're after covering a little bit of those past bases, you're going to switch into the present. So these things that you did in the past, how did they help you become who you are? What skills did they bring you? What strengths did they build in you? What have you learned from that? And ideally, what sets you apart from others, right? So those unique experiences that you had in the past, how did they make you who you are? Now, here is a good time to mention your overall sort of energy. So it's always great to even just state that you love that you're doing something, or that you're incredibly excited, or that you enjoy something, and mention a couple of positive words around this time, to really give a positive foundation as well for the future part, right? So even just mentioning that you are so eager to do something in your future will help you yourself to be more confident in your future, but also others. So now talking talking a little bit more about the future can be in an interview, for example, saying that, and now I'm excited to move into this role, or start doing this, or do this course and then gain this invaluable knowledge and use it in that project, or use it in a particular way. So make sure to kind of have that one core that goes right from your past into the future. This structure will help you build step by step a confidence and one concise and consistent narrative. Now, you can also finish with a so-called call to action. So you can rely sort of the conversation back on the person. So ask them, and now I want to do this. What do you think? Or what about you? Or obviously more in a casual setting. What do you think about this part that I mentioned? Or do you think I could be a good fit here and there? Things like that. So it will always help you as well to guide the conversation in the right direction where you want it to go. Now, let's have a look at what a personal pitch like that could look. I prepared a little example here for what it could sound like for a student. So, hi, I'm Nora. I'm a student at La Trobe University studying my master's in marketing. I'm preparing to graduate at the end of this year, which is really exciting. I've recently completed an internship with a fantastic local marketing agency based in Collingwood, and I'm really looking forward to joining the workforce in 2023. And I'd love to step into a role in digital marketing or social media advertising. Do you think my experiences could be a really great fit? This could be your personal pitch. So something along those lines. Doesn't have to be anything extraordinary, but just highlighting the most important information or most relevant information to the circumstances that you're in, plus highlighting the things that you really love and that you really enjoy, or that you enjoyed in the past. Now, amplifying your brand. So there are a couple of things and steps that you can take and do to showcase your brand. So a couple of different mediums where you can use all of that information that we just talked about, including your pitch. And these are obviously, like we already mentioned before, resume, LinkedIn, other social media. Cool. In person, that would be events you attend, networking and not, content you share online, if you have a blog or if you write articles on LinkedIn or just quick little posts, or even if you post stories on Instagram, whatever it is. Volunteering and external opportunities, emails you send, even at work. So the tone of voice that you're using to convey the information that you want to, relationships you build, engaging with your colleagues at work in person and online over Zoom, and obviously client meetings. So your clients are also people and they want to understand who you are and if they would enjoy working with you. Now, we understand who we are. We understand where to talk about yourself and how to talk about yourself. Now we want to put the brand to work. So how do we actually put ourselves out there, right? Obviously, all of us know probably such a platform that is called LinkedIn. This is one of the best places to really build your brand because this is social media basically all around careers and jobs. And if this is a big part of your life, which it is for most people, LinkedIn can really, really help you in progressing further by portraying your personal brand. It can help you gain some opportunities on the side as well. A lot of people use it to get some maybe keynote speaking opportunities or some coaching, mentoring opportunities and things like that. It's a really good place to connect with people that have potentially the same interests or talk about the same things or go on similar journeys as you do. Now, get connecting and engaging on LinkedIn. So now that you know who you are and you know what I want to say, maybe you started writing something, don't only put things out there, also try and add value to what other people already are putting out there. Or even the other way around, if you're too scared yet to put something out there yourself, maybe just start with commenting and liking and engaging and sharing posts that other people are already doing. A good place to start is always your company content, for example, or your friends, congratulating them on achievements, or maybe writing a comment on some useful information that you read. When you're first joining LinkedIn, I would really recommend just following a couple of people that you maybe look up to or that you aspire to be, or maybe you like their careers, or maybe you just like a part of their profile. And that will help you stay engaged with LinkedIn and the things that you're seeing on there. And it will also make it easy for you to comment, like, share that information for your own personal brand. Now, next obvious thing is connect with people. Connect with people that you actually see, any sort of similarities or value in. I don't like using that word. I don't mean, only connect with people if you think they're valuable to your career. No. Just if you think their content is valuable and what they're talking about is valuable in any sense, and that you love engaging with their content. So connect with those new people, and they might, engage with their content, and you might be able to help each other in the end. Now, post great content, that's obvious. Only good stuff, no bad things. Use messages. I know a lot of people are intimidated by this one, but honestly, you do it a couple of times, you get over it, and it's so easy and it brings so much value. People love knowing that they're helping. People love being helpful. So feel free to message a couple of people, or maybe even the people you look up to, and you might get a really cool response. And yourself as well. If people start reaching out to you and replying to your comments or commenting and posting, respond to those. Engage with your audience. Bring people continuous value, make them feel appreciated, and then people will stay with you. It's like with friends, if a friend sends you a message, you don't want to ghost them, you don't want to ignore them. Make sure to take your time and respond to those things. Now, if you got a little bit excited and you want to know what could you potentially post on LinkedIn, here is a quick little methodology of things that you can talk about in your little LinkedIn blog. You can split your content basically into 4 quarters, and each one can be around 25% of the 400% that you post. And that would be what you're up to, industry and skill set news, your company and peers, and self-promo. This is probably going to be the hardest one. So yeah, just share your journey and what you're up to, what you're doing, what you're experiencing. Maybe you're attending some events, maybe you're supporting some friends at other events, maybe you're doing some volunteering, or maybe you just tried out something new, or maybe you failed at something. Right now, it's really popular to share your failures as well, which I think is an amazing trend. So feel free to share any of that if you are comfortable with it. Industry and skill set news. So anything you find useful yourself, or things that you discover in your own work that might be useful to other industry professionals. So let's say you were trying to figure out some sort of problem really for a really long time, and now you solved it. Share that with other people. Why are you gatekeeping? Share it with other people, they'll appreciate it. So let's say, for example, even if you don't have a job yet, or you can't really find those things yet in your job, even about your studies, if you found a cool article, if you found a cool resource, or if you found a cool way or method of studying or compiling notes, or I don't know, accessing your lectures, or blah, 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 whatever it is, even small, small, small things, share them. They can help a lot of people. Now, once you do join a company, or even if you're just studying at your university, share some stuff about that uni. A lot of people will be, engaging with that content because they might want to join your company or join your uni. They might find it really valuable to see what it's actually like to do those things, and how, that might feel like, or how a typical day looks like, and doing this or that, or just even doing your job, how that might look like in general. So it's a big part usually for a lot of people. Yeah, so feel free to double down on that part as well. And obviously self-promo, and like I said before, it might be the trickiest one, but here you will be, you will be promoting yourself and your successes. So maybe you just finished a course, maybe you just finished uni, maybe you just learned something new. Share it with other people. Maybe you got a promotion, or just finished a really cool project. Share it with other people. People love supporting each other. And here is what those posts can look like. So, congratulations on the new job. Here's my study buddy. Meet my new team. I just attended a cool event on personal branding with Study Melbourne. Maybe you can post about that. Oh, I just found this cool research that tells us about the next year's marketing trends. Boom. And here are already so many great ideas. Obviously, you can also use ChatGPT to generate a lot of your ideas, but just take it with a grain of salt as usual, and personalize it to yourself, because people are going to be able to tell that it's not you. And if ChatGPT is writing in one tone and you usually speak in a completely other tone, people will be able to tell, and it won't feel authentic. And that's one of our first pillars. So make sure to be very careful with that. And build your network. So once you got it all going, start engaging and connecting with other people. Some may say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with. So spend some time to, curate that network around you. and, be proud of your surroundings and be proud of who you spend your time with, and find those things about those people that really make you inspired. It can be really, really beneficial of when it comes to career growth. And when you need assistance and advice, and sometimes even some mentoring, potentially. So yeah. An exercise that you can do here, and then we can do all together, to really, one more time, analyze who you are. You can take a piece of A4 paper, split it into 4 parts, write down strengths, values, unique qualities, and professional skills. If you have some time right now, and if you have a piece of paper or even your phone, feel free to take a couple of seconds and just write down the things that you think about yourself, and then maybe compare it with the information that you get from other people. So, in strengths, what are you really good at? What do people always compliment you on? Or what do people always say, oh my God, I wish I was ... like you? Or, oh my God, you are so good at this. I could never do it like you do. Or maybe your mum always said, oh, you were always so good at ... All of those things, try and think about them and write them down in your strengths. Your values. So we spent just a big chunk of time to figuring those out. Write them down now, or if you're not sure, take your time to do the tests and analyze, and then write them down here. So, for example, I value friendship, or I value honesty, or I like helping others and learning from other people around me, or I'm passionate about the environment and how to care about it. And I really think that it's very important. Now, your unique qualities. So some characteristics or experiences that you think are maybe unique to you. So try and think of potentially, things that are very maybe different from what your friend group does, or things that only you did in your circle. Maybe something very, maybe something very very unique about your background or what you are doing currently. Maybe some of the hobbies that you do are very, are not so common. For example, I had a friend and she was playing the saxophone. I think that's pretty cool, and I don't know that many people that play the saxophone. So here you go. Or or maybe you're fluent in many different languages, or you moved to a really cool new country and no one in your hometown lives in that country yet. Anything along those lines. Try and think about a couple of things. It can also not only be what you do, but how you do something. So maybe there's a unique way of, I don't know, how you find what to do, and on the weekend, or whatever it can be, or how you find your favorite books or articles. So try and think of it in a couple of different ways, and drop those down. And the skills and experiences you have. So professional skills mostly, or skills that help you potentially even in your hobbies. So for example, I am the one who ... So I am, the one who always analyzes, or blah, 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 or I'm the one who always project manages, and I project manage at work, and I project manage our trips with friends. So a couple of common things like that. Feel free to do it now, or take a screenshot and do that work with yourself later, and take some time, and feel free to even share it afterwards. I think it's pretty cool to see what other people have, and what other people results get. Now, if you want to, if you feel comfortable with, share it in the chat. Maybe a couple of unique things that you thought about. If not, that's totally fine. I completely understand. And now, one of the last things, please remember, I know it can be overwhelming. We just went through a lot of information. Please remember that it's okay not to know everything. It's okay to not be perfect, or it's okay to not yet know exactly what you want or what you need. And maybe you don't even have a brand yet, or you haven't started yet, and you feel so overwhelmed. So because you go on LinkedIn, there are so many people that are already doing it and they're so good at it. So don't worry about it. First of all, it's never too late, and you can always get there if you really want it. And you have your own unique path, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's path, and it doesn't have the same timing and flow as anyone else's path. So after all, it's you, and you decide what to do with your own life. So just think about yourself, and it's okay to not know everything. It's also okay if at some point you realize that your personal brand maybe changed a bit, and revise those key values, cores, and strengths, and add some more or get rid of some, and it's completely fine. And here we are. We arrived at the end of the presentation. I hope it was useful for you guys, and please feel free to, I don't know, share some comments, or if you have any questions, please, please, please write them in the chat. Feel free to also connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it in the chat right now, you can ask me any questions in my direct messages. I'm always up for a chat, and I would love to help any of you if I can. So please feel free. And a big thank you to you. And pat yourselves on the back. You already did the first step, and you attended the session today. And now you have so many things that you can do. Yeah. And it's just incredible. Also, if you feel comfortable, please share this, please scan this QR code, and yeah, complete a really short survey, and yeah, you can win a voucher. This month, yeah, closes on Thursday at midnight. At our next event, you can register here. It will be called Connect and Conquer. It's all about LinkedIn. So if you are interested now after this webinar of some other ways how you can explore and use LinkedIn, not only for your personal brand, but for your career, and that can help you, create a really standout profile and potentially get some opportunities from there. Feel free to join us. It's on the 13th of March at 5:30 p.m. This will be an in-person one as well. So yeah, and we will have 2 guest speakers who are absolutely incredible. So feel free. Register by scanning the QR code. And we've arrived at the end of the session. So I can't see any questions here so far, and that's okay. And thank you very much for attending today, everyone. It's been incredible. And I really hope you enjoyed this session, and thank you so much, and pat yourself on the back. It was really, really great. So yeah, we can wrap up the session now, and see you on our next events, or or in person. I will be at this event, by the way, as well, so feel free to come over and say hi. All right, well, good luck with your personal brands, and see you soon. Bye bye.